Welcome back. Game 2 on the cards here as IG find themselves in a 1-0 lead over LFY. Hard push met hard team fight, and in the end the push just stopped. It just ended. There was no more pushing power left. They ran out of petrol, and well, they're gonna have to find themselves a different vehicle to get themselves through this series. As draft for game 2 starts off with an Ancient Apparition first pick for IG. And an Elder Titan with Shadow Shaman for LFY. Definitely very different. They've got more than one stun this time.
Well, yeah, arguable. I mean, Elder Titan with a Storm, it can be kind of tricky to land, but with the Shadow Shaman, of course, you do attacks, you have the Shackles. Makes for easy setups, and also you have that pushing power. Very solid opener these days in 707. If you manage to make these tools work for you with some extra AoE to work off of, or set up for the Elder Titan, like you see a lot of Faceless Voids and stuff like that also comboed with these heroes. We'll see though, IG this time they're the ones who are grabbing themselves up the Death Prophet, and yeah, together with the Ancient Apparition that worked so well for them last game. So they add some extra push themselves, and they already have that super solid mid laner.
Alright, just fixing the overlays.
Nice.
Make sure that everything's all correct. We don't want anyone to think that IG are losing the series when in fact they are winning. So yeah, team fight, split push, ET flexible in that 3 or 4 role. See where he ends up going. But Ancient Apparition with Death Prophet, pretty strong opener. Team fight, just need some catch. Honestly, LFY were really missing out on that team fight in the last game. They maybe overcompensate this game and just go all out team fight. Definitely something that you can do as a captain. Is like, well, last game we were missing out on all this and this and this. And you try and add it into the draft a little bit too much. But they've got a nice mix across their opener so far. But I think Chaos Knight is probably going to be one of those big heroes that both teams are afraid of. Very difficult to handle if you don't draft yourselves into a position that's good up against him. And now, with Void Medusa banned out, it could just be a CK pick from IG. Like, LFY have to, like, they have to block pick it, or they have to draft against it in this second stage, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, that CK DP, that's something that IG relied on, even in the games against eHome. And they found great success with it, without too many struggles even. And even just with the CK in the last game, they showed what they can do with that hero and how they can transition them into later parts of the game, even though it's not really going perfectly throughout the entire time. But, well, LFY certainly not block picking it. Shadow Fiend, bit of a momentum-based hero trying to head that off. But be very surprised now if IG doesn't go for it with these bans that you were saying. Like, especially Medusa, considered to be that hard counter to the CK, because he relies so much on illusions. All that Medusa needs to do is build the eggs to get that stone form and instant illusion kill from the Mystic Snake. But, well, there's still plenty of other positions to fill here. Boboka's Earth Spirit has also been taken away, so he's gonna have to find another roamer for this game.
Yeah, no Night Stalker, no Bounty, no Tusk, no Clock, no Earth Spirit. It's pretty rough for the 4-role hero here, so Sand King, Ancient Apparition likely to be their combination. Age-old pairing there. Burrow Strike, Ice Blast, Epicenter. 2 supports that can potentially kill core heroes even into the later stages of the game. More importantly though, Sand King with Burrow Strike, a great disruptive tool in team fights to be able to keep heroes like DP alive. You know, defense through offense is the name of the game so far for them, as LFY a Bat Rider SF, Shadow Shaman, Elder Titan. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Definitely remedying the catch and kill. A bit of vision here from the Bat Rider for sure. No real vision hero from Invictus Gaming just yet, so again, we'll have to rely heavily on that warding and vision game.
I wonder if they were just considering the Nyx Assassin now. Great against the Bat Rider, pretty good against the Shadow Shaman too. Like if you time your Spike Capper as well, and when he tries to go for the Shackle, it gets instantly cancelled, and it happens more often than you might think. Also would solve some of these vision issues, because then you end up with this offlane or 4 position that eventually just turns invis and scouts ahead.
I'm just wondering what kind of hero they're giving to Inflame offlane though. Not Inflame, idiot. XXS. Yeah. My brain lagged a little bit there.
I was like, wait.
Wait a second, yes. Inflame
Batrider, like what?
But like, is it going to be, like, that's the thing. They're leaving it to the very last pick. Like, it could be XXS Sand King. That's the worrying thing is here. It could still be an offlaner or a 4-role roaming hero coming out of IG, which is pretty spooky. I would honestly love to see something like the Baboka Monkey King come back in that 4-role. Give them the vision game, a nice bit of, TP cancelling, catch for the Batrider, Boundless Strike, super good against ET and Shadow Shaman, cancelling those channeling abilities. Because you do want something also to use as like a zonal tool with your Wukong's command to try and help save heroes like the Death Prophet at the same time.
I mean, XXS does have like 55 games of Sand King on record, but also 54 in Legion Commander, which also wouldn't be the worst thing. Especially now with the Lifestealer, sometimes you see this combination. Lifesteal Infest and Legion, you blink on somebody, have that extra bit of power to blow somebody up, and also, of course, the pressy attack against the Batrider lasso. But that's precisely why LFY banned that hero out now.
There's also heroes like the Magnus as well.
Yeah.
10 seconds
Magnus
remaining.
here would be pretty good with the Lifestealer AA.
5 seconds remaining.
Especially when LFY have a team that likes to group up around towers, having that big RP to catch them would be reasonably nice. Yeah, Omni's banned. I was looking for that one. Omni no longer there. Outside of that, you do have the Puck still out in the pool. That could be a nice little grab to add in to this team fight and catch ability that IG have. Another Infest Bomb available to them.
Invictus
Ban out the
Gaming's
Clinks,
turn
interestingly
to
enough there. One of the kind of counters to DP and Lifestealer. Buys minus armor, buys a potential Solar Crest. Would have been pretty sneaky. Does that maybe indicate an Enchantress coming out of them as well? That could also be the reason.
10 seconds
Not
remaining.
sure on commit to that.
5
There's
seconds
some pretty
remaining.
decent tools against Enchanters already, like Shadow Shower, you can keep her in place for Shadow Fiend to just raise her down. And some very quick magic bursts coming through that Enchantress doesn't really survive whatsoever.
But early game, they don't have anything to deal with that at all.
Yeah.
Like Shadow Shaman and Shadow Fiend are like never going to be near each other the first 10 minutes.
That's true.
LFY's turn to
I go with the Puck.
It's the Puck, alright.
It's the easy option.
As you're saying, extra mobility for the lifesteal, extra team fight. And gives you these extra ways to engage and start team fights, where you can either have the Puck go in with a Blink or the Sand King to do the same. You can kind of mix and match depending on the situation that you find yourself in, which is always useful. Like having multiple ways to take and combo your spells up together, rather than being shoehorned into one particular way of having to take a team fight. Phantom Lancer, alright. Pretty decent against the Lifestealer. Of course, a lot of targets here up against this primarily single target focused hero. But there is a decent amount of control for him, just between the Sand King and the Puck in particular, and also the silence from the Death Prophet. So this is certainly going to be a meta-style game for the PL here. I don't hate that lineup, to be perfectly honest.
Puck's going to have a hard time. Shadow Shaman, PL, ET. They'll need a Sand King top. Maybe they go aggro. Sand King AA Lifestealer seems like a super strong aggro lane. Just try and face off against the Phantom Lancer early, have the Puck against Batrider lane is what IG likely look for. And then just have the natural 1v1 of DPSF.
Yeah.
But LFY is not going to give them that. They're going to swap their lanes up as much as they can.
Can get this try and try situation, IG is certainly going to have the advantage. Just because Shadow Shaman, one of his strongest early game spells is Shackles. 2.5 seconds of disable at level 1, it's pretty damn good. But the downside is it also disables itself, so if you're up against a tri lane, then you might well be bursted down with the Chilling Touch and whatnot. So we'll see if it comes to that for now.
Prepare
The lane's really starting to shape up. Lifestealer starting to make his way up top for the side of IG.
They don't want the Batrider really to be against a Lifestealer either. Not the most fun of lanes, as Rage can take off the sticky. We'll find out what exactly they plan on though. They're sending DP, AA and Puck. With the Sand King, everyone heading down towards the bottom rune spot. Trying to get some kind of information here. Puck will see the PL. Also Shadow Shaman potentially scouted. Gets to the low ground. Not sure if Sand King caught a glimpse. Definitely gets away though, as the Dire Observer Ward did get spotted being placed. Purple pings it out.
30 seconds to
So they should be bringing a sentry out within the first minute or so to deward that.
They might be getting 3 bounty runes here if they don't contest a Lifestealer. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's some very BM banter or something. I don't know. Walking across now, and the question is it worth it hanging around, taking a couple of right clicks, and Gaze of Death says, nope, it's not.
The battle begins.
Give that over to them.
They still get themselves 2 and 2. Lifestealer is angry. Oh my goodness. Caps lock activated. Jeez. Well, where we go. Lanes set up 2v2, middle, maybe even 3v3. Whole bunch of heroes setting up there. They'll have the Puck against the Batrider. So they're actually swapping their lanes around to have try that the Radiant are forcing into the Dire, interestingly enough.
Yeah, that's curious. But it comes down to this this Batrider matchup at the very least for now, though this mid lane 2v2 will also take the edge of the top lane for a little bit. As good as Ancient Apparition can be with the conjunction of that extra hero to set up for a Cold Feet and have an extra target for the Chilling Touch to just buff up the damage output, it's not really all that strong, lacking these kind of things. So for now, just straight up right-click harassment, just based on the fact that you're ranged and the others are not.
Whoever can... Oh, never mind. I was going to say whoever can get the Quelling Blade first in this top lane is going to win. Phantom Lancer has a Quelling Blade. Good luck, Lifestealer. Open wounds level 1. With nothing skilled yet by the Ancient Apparition, but they've got their creep wave under the tower, allowing Lifestealer to get at least 1 CS over there. Batrider 4 and 2, Puck 2 and 3. Things should start to get better for the Puck though, as you'll get your phase shift and your orb leveled up. And of course you'll have a magic wand eventually. Should be trying to buy that as quickly as possible, but Bat has shoved the wave in under tier 1, stopping the Puck, getting to the side shop to finish off that magic stick so he can just continually spam out Napalm, get the Firefly over the top. Orb is forced and Puck has to jump away back to the tier 2. Already a great laning stage by the Batrider, but there's a Sand King behind him with Firefly ending soon. This could be huge for the Dire team if they can get another movement forward from the Puck, but doesn't look like they really want to.
Might be able to get a solo kill here with the extra slows taken in from the Kosk finale. Another Burrow Strike available. But now with rotation through from Banana and Storm coming through. Oh, he almost still takes out.
Still a caustic to
should
pop,
be fine.
Not enough damage with the Tango regen. Well, they get a bit of the pressure off the Puck though now, evening up the CS a little bit more. Has the magic wand, so they liven up this bottom lane as Batrider has to make the long walk back home, and then we'll have to TP back to lane as ET lurks around, pinging out the Sand King, sat behind this mid-tier 1. But Shadow Fiend against the Death Prophet, DP with double null coming out on top so far. 15-5 against the 7-4, and Sand King will force this poor Shadow Fiend back yet again. Super not having a fun time at all.
At the very least, he's managed to get himself up to 11 souls without dying at the very least, but that might change now. Burst Strike coming through, Death Prophet with the Spirit Siphon doing a pretty good amount of damage. But he still has a salve, and it was close enough to his own tier 1 tower that I didn't really feel comfortable diving that just yet.
They've successfully shut down this top lane though, and with a jump forward, Doppelganger ready, another Lance to go. Phantom Lancer should be able to grab this kill on the AA and secure first blood. Q, a little bit too far forward there. Without your Sand King, you really aren't a strong force in this lane. Lifestealer doesn't offer you much at level 2. Mid lane again, they're trying to go in onto the Shadow Fiend, but a quick Spirit into Stomp with one raise. Look for the second. He's getting close. The DP's trying to get away from the raises, but it means that he gets closer to the punches.
Bit of an issue, having no Spirit Siphons available there to keep yourself alive, and yeah, just get right click down. It's not a good start here, or it was a good start in terms of CS, but now a lot of that has been mitigated with that kill going towards the Shadow Fiend in particular, up to 23 souls now. Meanwhile, first strike. It's a haste for Elder Titan, but he's still proccing Cold Feet. This should not really happen. He will fall 1-for-1 trade. There was the Shadow Shaman punches. Really, really strong as well.
He had Ether Shot coming off cooldown, level 2 as well. Maybe could have got a double kill, but wasn't fast enough to chase the Tranquil Boot Sand King, who roams all the way through towards mid lane. Spotted, though, by this one Radiant Observer Ward. And up comes the Shadow Shaman. Across comes the Elder Titan, Sand King. Look at him, just running through the fog, hiding in the trees. No one knows where he is. But so far, LFY are doing very well across the lanes. Coming out, even overall, it feels like. A couple of kills to the good. They do still have to be a little worrisome about the timing again that IG are going to be hitting. Puck is closing in on level 6, and TPs from this Puck much, much stronger than the Batrider, because you'll have Dreamcaller, you'll have the nuke damage immediately from Orb and Waning Rift. Whereas the Batrider is much more slow burning with the Napalms and the Firefly. They tried to go down on this Inflame Batrider, but Sand King and AA may have given up the play here. Firefly, how long do we have? Another 10 seconds or so. They start burrow striking forward with an Orb and a Cold Feet. This is going to be enough. Batrider, stick charge, not enough to keep him up and running. Good rotation in. Gets them this bottom lane going, and of course the Puck going to be key to this dire lineup winning the game.
Yeah. Also important for Boboka and the Sand King to actually start having an impact. Not always the easiest hero to do that with as a roaming hero, especially because he spent a lot of time mid, not really killing the Shadow Fiend whatsoever. And he's never really shown top to try and help out the Ancient Apparition life dealer there, so as a result, that Phantom Lance is still very much at the top of the CS chart. So yeah, they're making that conscious choice though, right? I mean, they're not really contesting him at all, so it's a safe lane and the off lane for him. Just relying on their ability to eventually have these Infest Bombs coming in to help out the Lifestealer, who's a full level behind right now.
Yeah. I mean, Lifestealer, once he gets Armlet, phase Armlet, he will be a hero. It's more about getting a fast blink on Puck and then a fast blink on Sand King. Because these blink initiations are what allow you to kill the Phantom Lancer. If you can blink Silence and get then the follow through with the Silence from DP, PL really doesn't stand a chance against the damage that they have until he has that Manta style, the Heart, which come much, much later, obviously. Now, LFY's turn. Shadow Shaman and Elder Titan aiming towards the top lane. Lifestealer, though, very passively farming back in the jungle. Not really safe for him to show anywhere on the map, as the Lasso bottom. Not sure what the Batrider's playing at here. Trying to get a kill on the Ancient Apparition, but Puck has arrived, and with a Cold Feet, Inflame's just going to die. He didn't even get a rune or anything, did he? Double bounty rune up there, but that was ages ago.
Yeah. I just started seeing the Ancient Apparition figuring, hey, yeah, that's an easy kill, but turns out it wasn't, with that coil being expended. And of course, it's a pretty decent combo as well as coil into Cold Feet. You get stunned either way, either you stick around and you get Cold Feeted, or you snap the coil and try and get away, but well, this is certainly not ideal, because this Puck certainly has the potential to not just set up for the Lifestealer, but also make some kills happen of his own, or working together with Death Prophet is also getting to the point.
Oh, smoke pops. Shadow Shaman, hello there. ET gonna go for the Stomp. It'll not catch on to anyone with the Cold Feet snapping. Shadow Fiend has to retreat and maneuver back to a safer position. Now the Death Prophet arrives. Spirit Siphon to try and catch a second kill. Pew, pew, pew. Banana in all sorts of problems. Found and killed deep inside his own jungle. Even a Puck arriving to try and secure some more. But Shadow Fiend all the way back. Farms some camps. No stacks made for him. Again, another great maneuver from IG. Finding these weaknesses and exploiting them very, very snappily.
In the case of point, Death Prophet also getting into these levels. 3 points up on Spirit Siphon, that mounts up, not just with the slow, but also, of course, the damage. Continually coming through. Crit Sum level 2 is decent, even now. The value point and Silence coming through. So, if you want, you can already pressure towers with that, especially considering that these supports on the other side are nowhere near their level 6s for the exozoning capacity or split push potential when you're thinking about the Shadow Shaman.
Firefly forced again.
Gets stunned. Will get stunned another time with the cold feet. He didn't even throw it out, did he? Oh, not sure. Wait.
Not even needed.
There was no Ancient Apparition. There was someone thought the DP was the Ancient Apparition. Oh, that was my bad. Need to finish my energy drink.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Puck closing in on the blink. Only about 1,000 away. DP unable to get too much damage onto the tier 1. Exorcism now waning. Will come back and heal her to a decent amount of HP. The TP is arriving though. Inflame wants to go in. Not really the easiest opportunity to catch any of these dire heroes. Phantom Lancer in the meantime does get the tier 1 top. But he's been given it. It's not just him taking it. IG are allowing this to all happen.
Yeah, it's also going to get a very quick Diffusal Blade at this rate. Already has the Treads and the Aquila for some easy stats. Survivability and mana regen, pretty important. And the Shadow Fiend's also not really falling behind either. He's not surging ahead like he normally wants to. He's right neck and neck with his lane opponent on the Death Prophet. And just down to the fact that there aren't too many stacks prepared for him just yet. Yeah. But he's getting, what's he building? What does he have? The drums, alright.
Standard build for the SF now.
Yeah.
Could look next for, you know, the Yule's, BOT's Blink Dagger build. Could equally just go for Treads Dragonlance BKB or Treads BKB. This is a nice little launch pad.
Bottom lane.
To put yourself into any build you want to. Poor little Shadow Shaman gets popped down at bot as they were looking for the DP, but no real catch there just yet. Without the blink from Batrider, unable to dive onto the Death Prophet behind this tier 1.
As a result, with the catapult also sieging in, they do get the tier 1 in the bottom lane. But top lane, I mean, Phantom Lancer continues to just play PvE. Completely unaccounted for right now, and at some point you have to respond to this push. It's going to be able to claim his tier 2 very early on if you don't. Lifesteal returning now. Here to feel his impact as well, but with a Blink Dagger, now enough money available for the puck. Maybe that will change. Now, X6 still hanging around to the bottom lane though.
She'll buy the blink. Go on TP somewhere. Smoke up with your Sand King maybe. Yeah, they're all moving in. Oh, yeah. They have Ice Blast, Dream Coil. No Epicenter yet. They've given that level 6 to the Ancient Apparition a little sooner. Who are they going to find though? That's the big question. I would love to get the SF, but I think the Phantom Lancer in this dire jungle is the key target. Pick him off. Top of the net worth. Slow down that Diffusal Blade just a touch. They have seen him. They're swinging in very quickly. All the way across this map. The Blink, Waning Rift not going to do anything, and the Doppelganger away from the Burrow Strike means Phantom Lancer's safe. Yeah. Very unfortunate there. XXS thought he could find the Phantom Lancer farming this little camp, but safe play by Monet.
Some really good vision from the Radiant side all over the map, so Spidey sensors had to be tingling. Can't really see anyone but the Lifestealer, maybe playing a little bit too far forward here considering the way this lane has been going so far for him, so you figure, hey, he probably has support coming, let's get the hell out of here.
Batrider in the meantime has been able to farm his own Blink. This Bat Blink Lasso with all these bounty runes being bottled up and consumed. Inflame has it ready. So now we're looking at this Blink Lasso with the help of Shadow Fiend to do the damage. And he did go back for the Treads, looking for Sand and Yasha next. Very mid-game centric, building up all of these stats. Of course, delays the BKB for a much nicer timing later on. Around 20-25 minutes. And here we go. LFY about to hit their stride. Diffusal Blade ready for the Phantom Lancer. Comes in towards mid lane. And they're 5-man, their big group up. They want to meet this dire team head on.
Well, if you have to see an Exorcism to try and push down the tower, we have also the Shadow Shaman Serpent Wards ready to go. But they want to take matters into their own hands with their Blink reveal on the Batrider. Smoke will break and might just find a Sanking in the middle here, flying across the tree line. It is nighttime, so you don't have the best vision, but still, you find the catch. Phantom Lancer with the extra damage, easily done. So they get the first strike off, but the Dice Blast completely off the mark here. Phantom Lancer with doppelganger up to the high ground, zone him away as well, but slow down, still from Lifestealer onto the Batroid, a couple of extra damage instances being thrown out, and now Deathprop with the exorcism needs to get closer to Stomp though, keeping them away. Infest into the Sanking just for a moment, just get that extra bit of damage, but Phantom Lance is still on the run, continuing to kite, but the puck finally coming through for the finishing touch on that 2-for-1 trade in the end.
What a ridiculous fight.
Yeah,
they miss Ice Blast, they miss everything on the PL, then they get the Dream Coil, it tries to run away, the PL Illusions nearly kill the AA. Finally, they bring him down on the far western side of the fight. But a huge mess, honestly, all things considered there. Still a decent one for the Dire as they kept the Tier 1 alive. They were the ones that were getting smoked into, they were the ones that were initiated on by the Batrider. Yeah. Trying to get through these trees seemed very difficult for LFY.
There's even dieback involved on Boboka. Came
back into
the fight.
Died to the SF, yeah. They had this. They had reveal over here somehow. They saw him in the sandstorm and were able to finish him off with a dust or something.
Yeah, it's not the biggest of deals. Buybacks early on aren't really all that expensive, but it does still heavily impact his blink timing. So they're still going to have to rely on the one from X6S to start off these fights for the time being. Oh. Setting up again down bottom. There is a Phantom Lance, and again, very juicy target. Blink silence, follow up with the call, burst strike. This time the Ice Blast will connect.
Much better.
And yeah, this is the way it was supposed to go last time as well. Very clean execution.
That's the way it's meant to go every time. LFY still looking to try and catch someone. Sanking will pop the smoke. Can he get anything off? No. Lasso is there with a huge burst damage from the rest of the Radiant, and now full retreat from IG. Batrider chasing forward, pops out of his invis, gets a sticky napalm onto the Ancient Apparition. One raise and one hit means Inflame secures another kill. And then Bounty Runes as well. What a pest. Blinking around, collecting runes, bottling everything up. Very, very rich Batrider at this point. Closing in on that 4-staff. In fact, the top 6 heroes all very close between them. Radiant, though, with a 2,000 net worth lead, you can see that difference in the support. Sanking and AA both very poor, while the ET and Shadow Shaman at least have a few little items to their name. Arcane Boots and Urn. Yeah, sitting pretty.
Perhaps looking towards this Tier 1 on the bottom. Straight up dropping down the Serpent Water immediately. Shadow Fiend as well as the Batrider just screening in the backlines, making sure that there's no shenanigans. But there's still TP coming through, another one. Oh, one was cancelled, but the Infest bomb out. No interrupt for the Shadow Fiend TP though, so...
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
At least they keep the tower safe and they farm up the wards. Actually, it's not all that safe.
It's dead. Denied.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
It's still alright.
Dream Coil expended, but no kill on the Shadow Fiend, unfortunately. And LFY, with Phantom Lancer just farming away, untouched for the past minute or so. You know, did die bot. Now moving towards that Manta. Swiftly becoming a hero that you cannot deal with here. You can see Halberd now for this Lifestealer. Skips across the armlet. Phase Halberd into Maelstrom as they jump in mid with a Requiem wound up and thrown in. Death Prophet, no Yules, tries to heal back with a Spirit Siphon, but immediately taken out of the game.
Just after the Yules is picked up and finished off, as he already had the components but didn't have it quite flown out just yet. Bit unfortunate. Otherwise it would have perhaps meant that the rest of his team had enough time to rotate in for some sort of counterplay. But as it stands, they'll also be able to finish up the Tier 2 top that Phantom Lancer was sieging down a little bit earlier. So, looks very much like last game where LFY just pushed down tower after tower and IG are stuck to their side of the map more than they really want to.
This time, though,
across this Lifestealer on the other side.
LFY have much better ways of catching people out.
Yeah.
So if IG do overextend, or if they get into a team fight, LFY have ways to fight back, and they aren't pigeonholed into one style of gameplay, pushing and pushing. ET Found mid by the Ancient Apparition, but it's going to have to be the puck jump forward to do the rest of the work. Shadow Shaman also in the crossfire. Double kill for Lifestealer, as DP should pop the ult and look for this tier 1, or are they holding ulti for Roshan maybe?
Totally good series of events. I mean, it's only 2 supports, but they are pretty important at this stage in the game, just in terms of the control factor that they offer. With the Shackles, the Hexes, but also the area denial and the Storms from the Elder Titan. So, just straight up right-click down the tier 1 tower, still holding on to 2 points, level 2 exorcism. Not feeling too comfortable for the Roche right now by the looks of it. It's taking what they can, you know, blowing the game a little bit open. Buying some extra time for you to farm safely in your own jungle while LFY regroup.
Radiant are scanning.
Why does the owl poop fire?
Explosive diarrhea? I don't know.
Maybe it's just that time of the month. Maybe it's not poop. Poor bat, honestly. Owl, even.
Well,
Infest time again. Have to keep utilizing this. Get these pickoffs that open up objectives. You've still got the straight line to draw down the top lane. Tier 1, Tier 2 there. Roshan available. There's a double damager in that spawned up at the top spot. No one has eyes on it though. Severe lack of vision from both sides as they do jump in with a bat rider onto Sand King. He's got a burrow strike across the 2 of them with the Ice Blast flying in. They'll get the Sands of the Waning Rift. They've got them all. Oh, IG get the bait and switch as Sand King. He looked like a juicy target, but LFY get caught. The 2 heroes immediately blown up means Exorcism is out. Tier 1 open. And maybe a Roshan attempt on the cards for them as well. Well, this is the thing, you have no vision for both teams. Yeah. The fact that Dire is setting up for something there is, you know, just happenstance that the Radiant jump in at the same time. But Baboka, the bait, the Sand King.
I don't even know if he wanted to be bait. I'm pretty sure he's pretty ticked off that he keeps being the target for these these bad runner jumps.
Fight. They're 3v5 and still they're trying to fight. They get the puck, but now Shadow Fiend in all sorts of trouble. 4 fall. LFY stuck around near their shrine, and IG just dive straight in, thanking them for every kill they get.
It's a big old question mark hanging around there after you already lost the fight. It's not really worth it in the end, for sure. I guess they keep the tower alive, barely. It's not even the deny range, though, so... IG can still come back and swipe that down for easy money later. So, yeah, huge momentum swing for them, certainly. Into the next couple of items. BKB on the cards for Death Prophet. Lifestealer also coming into his own. Does have that Halberd build up. So, pretty good value item, especially against heroes like Shadow Fiend, who want to be right-clicking quite a bit in these fights. Or even just the Phantom Lance if you can get the real one.
Sand King, you sneaky devil. Go on. Go for it now. Your teammates are coming in. Go on, go on, go on. In you go. In you go. Stun him up. ET, you are dead. There is no escaping from this. Oh, it's an early Dream Coil, actually. Lifestealer still able to rage and run forward. Very interesting build from Lifestealer, but against the farmed PL and the fact that, you know, his armlet really wouldn't have hit the timing nicely with the puck and Sand King blinks. It's working out really nicely.
Yeah. AC next, after the probably completed Mjolnir. Things are looking up here for IG, that's for certain. Especially if they keep finding these kills, like either initiated by themselves or just counter-initiated when they keep lassoing up the Sand King, who's still getting these burst strikes off, right? It's not like they can completely negate his impact in a team fight. At least not so far.
Remember when SK Ags used to apply Caustic to illusions and just insta-kill Phantom Lancer? That was...
good times.
That was the crazy shit.
Well, don't think we'll see next anytime soon here. But
they know those were illusions. Oh, they're moving high ground. They know this is an illusion as well. The smoke's still not popping. Where's the real one? Where's the real one? Oh, it's over here. Doppelganger up to the high ground, and Sand King cannot find the catch. The pings come out, and in Flame he knows there are bad men inside the jungle. Illusion runs forward. Tries to scout them out. The fake back? Is this happening now? Is it a real fake back? Yeah, real fake back. Poor Batrider. Coil snaps and the burst strike lands, meaning that Inflame very likely just absolutely dead. Hex though, in onto Sand King. The turnaround raises. No, second one doesn't land. Super will get the final punch though as the DP yules into the air. Puck is here with a Waning Rift and an orb forward. Has to jaunt across as the Shadow Fiend is outputting a tremendous amount of damage. The Lifesteal finally arrives though. In with the right clicks, the Requiem thrown out again. The Lifesteal is infested in something. The creep, it holds him. It keeps him safe and warm. IG though, overextending as the Puck.
Dragging them away there from the creep wave, I guess, and still barely able to make it out. The quick blink forward to the immediate jaunt out. So that was quite a fight. I mean, continuing to fight under these walls, also not ideal. Shadow Fiend just ready to do what he wants with that protection. So
they keep their gem though.
Yeah,
LFY. It was trapped inside the Serpent Wards, and the Shadow Shaman's like, come on, just let me click on it. But yeah, Roshan's still up. The DP nearly on that BKB, but it really is just this Phantom Lancer who's proving to be indomitable in these team fights. So hard to actually find the real one and kill him off. Illusion's tanking up all these Exorcism Ghosts as well.
Yeah. Certainly need to... He needs to be the one initiated on, not the Batrider, not anyone else. On the heel, Shadow Fiend, if you manage to blow him up immediately, then perhaps you have a bit of an easier time. Just trying to figure out who the real Phantom Lancer is without also being raised down by the big old angry demon. But for now, game still very much even. Bit of a back and forth here. Gold graph straight at the 0 line. Experience might as well be. Not really worth mentioning. So at this point, you look back towards the items. Lifestealer walked away from that AC idea and goes for that immediate Mjolnir because he realizes, hey, we need some ways of doing guaranteed damage to these illusions, but also the real Phantom Lancer at the same time. Speaking of PL, he also has that Mental Style completed, so the silence from the puck, it's not even going to be enough anymore. They need to lead in with the Sand King, trying to figure out who the real one is really quickly, and then bursting down with the Ice Blast.
Well, they've got the DP silence as well, so they can force out the Manta Style with Waning Rift and then get the big AoE silence on top.
Yeah.
Should be just fine. Haste there for XXS. With Gaze of Death inside, infested in the puck. They know the PL is farming across on this western side of the map, but getting there is the hard part. This river dividing the two teams. LFY feels like they have a much stronger grasp on their areas of the map, and this smoke is going to have to try and break that grasp. ET in a good position here to pop some smokes. Throws out the Spirit. The Stomp will come through, but he's been found with a Cold Feet and a stun. Should very easily bring him down, and this potentially opens up Roshan.
It's a classic case of tanking the gank, but they're still going to find the objective out of it more than likely, especially if they do want to commit that exorcism, and yeah, we're not really wasting a lot of time thinking about it. Certainly worth taking that Aegis away from LFY and into the hands of the Lifestealer, so Gale of Death can play a little bit more aggressively. There's only counterplay here. Tier 2 top has already fallen, so with a bit of pressure going towards the Tier 3, that'll have to be responded to before IG can push across the river, but that's really about it. You have the Shadow Fiend closing in on its own BKB though, which could be extremely helpful, especially again up against the puck, all these other silencers, sinking stuns.
PL's doing the same thing. Manta and BKB. Super defensive here from LFY, itemization-wise anyway. I mean, they see the Dire team has a timing to hit. They know they outscale them reasonably well with Batrider doing a great job into the late game with that Magic Community piercing ulti. The vision you get from Bat, the PL with the vision you get from the illusions, the damage you get from Shadow Fiend. Everything about the Radiant team just moves into the late game a little better. Dire, in this mid-game though, incredibly potent with Aegis in hand. If they can make the first move and head towards these tier 2s, try and breach high ground at some point soon with one or two good team fights in the next 5 minutes, potentially IG could just end the game. LFY, this smoke is meant to stall that illusion. Killed off there. Shadow Shaman hexes it. They
Very
know.
obvious bait in this, yeah, especially with the Serpent mods being plopped down. LFY also realized that there's nothing to be gained here from any sort of surprise factors. Instead, just muscle down to tier 2. And you have to give it up. Lifestealer once again infested into the puck, and it's a good combo if you can actually land it, but if you're just spending a lot of time running around, then you're also spending a lot of time not farming. Right now, actually, SF and Lifestealer are the exact same net worth. Not often that you see that, and the Death Prophet also not too far off.
Come on, one of them has to get a last hit, right? No. No one's near creeps. Lifestealer's inside the puck. Here we go. SF. 1, 2, 3. Oh.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. I'm in the lead now.
Oh, if they continue down towards the bottom
It's a
tier 2,
BKB SF, though. They just TP away.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you're killing Shadow Fiend there.
Yeah, not with this build on a Lifestealer. With Armed Desolator, maybe you have enough bursts. But as it stands, pretty decent amount of armor that magic immunity, just protecting yourself from that extra magic damage from the Mjolnir. Still hanging around here though, and with the Death Prophet also showing that's the kind of physical damage that you're looking for.
Good Radiant scan. They know what's lurking, but the Blink Burrow strike in onto the Batrider immediately destroy the BKB. Oh, he's still alive. He kept himself up and running. The Ice Blast comes through, but the Requiem wound up. Sent into the faces of this dire team, but they're BKBs. And the Rage keep them alive as finally the Sand King dies, but the trade will be here. Shadow Shaman found the silence onto the PL Manta. Get away from it. The secondary silence does land, but the real hero has evaded their advances. Puck has the Lifestealer inside. Infested there. Phase Shift should come through, but doesn't dodge away from the Echo Stomp as this Exorcism will shred the tower. So a 1-for-1, trading BKBs and ultis for BKBs and ultis, but it's still the Dire getting a tier 2. Radiant, though, they're in this game still.
Yeah.
They lose a Shadow Shaman and a tower. It still doesn't feel that bad for them as they will progress their itemization and just keep on building this Phantom Lancer to that unstoppable point.
3 different BKBs used. 3 10-second BKBs nonetheless, so...
Oh, was that the DP's first? Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it? Wow.
I believe so. Oh yeah, so 4 10-second BKBs across both teams, I guess. That's not often that you see that, but eventually that'll be whittled away at, and it must be in favor of IG, right? Considering these this big commitment for these all three cores going for the BKBs, especially PL, who is not exactly the hero that wants to build that kind of item, because it makes it very obvious who the real one is.
Yeah, he just felt like he needed to stay alive.
Yeah.
Plenty of AoE, especially now with this static charge, the Mjolnir on Lifestealer.
It just needs to stay mobile as well up against the silencers, just stacking up. There's only so many times that you can Manta style it off.
Where's Baboka going? Oh, he's warding. Deep in behind enemy lines.
Yeah, just Baboka thinks, you know. Just doing that 4-roll. These 4-roll shenanigans. Might be caught out here, but he blinks up to the high ground. Nice little nook there.
The rest of IG get away from top lane, but they've got the double ward now over on this western side of the map. Around Roshan, around this tier 2 mid and top. You can definitely feel that IG want to start playing around this vision. Make a move across the map at some point in the next minute or two. I don't think they've got any smokes. Likely what they're waiting for. Get these ultis going. Shadow Fiend and Shadow Shaman both sat mid. In fact, all 5 heroes from LFY ready and waiting. Infested Sand King this time, not the puck. Baboka holds the Lifestealer inside of him, so a bit of a change in MO.
Still those 5 men though, like Chinese teams just never really want to stop. There's only 4 icons here on the side of IG, but that's again because the Lifestealer is hitching a ride to summon the Sand King.
Dire's middle tower is
Go
under
back
attack.
for that Eon Disc. Eon Disc. One of those.
Does like this. We saw it in a previous series on the Sand King as well. Just make sure that if you're caught by a lasso and a Requiem, you're going to be able to get out, because Sand King's the one that LFY do want to try and jump. He is the big teamfight disruptive tool here with burrow strikes and force staffs to keep himself and his teammates alive. Oh, hello. Inflame. He sees them. He jumps them. He catches the Ancient Apparition with a BKB. This will be an easy pick-off. IG fall back as quickly as they possibly can. There is an Arcane Rune spawn bottom. Maybe would have liked DP to have it, but it looks like Baboka says, no, we need to take it quickly, and I will take it now. As defense of the high ground has to be achieved here. IG being pressured on their tier 3 by Serpent Wards. LFY going for the safe, steady proxy push, not committing any heroes just yet. SF and Phantom Lancer move forward a little bit, but a good little dodge there with a phase shift allows Puck to get away from some of that damage.
Keeping the Serpent Wards alive for as long as they can, so this tier 3 tower is taking a significant amount of damage. Just from that one little push, and really well played there from LFY, realizing that IG, they can't really want to fight without the Ice Blast coming through. So, stick around for as long as they feel comfortable and still get out scot-free. The only thing that they really expended for that was another BKB charge on the Batrider.
Show me Roshan. 20 seconds until the fastest spawn. Sand King being pressured by illusions. Very annoying. But yeah, we're looking at Puck swiftly into the Hex. Very good catch tool against all of these BKB cores. You look at Hex and BKB and the interplay between the two. One counters one, the other counters the other, depending on who casts which one first. And they see that Phantom Lancer has been farming Ancients. Not able to jump on him just yet.
Did they get a glimpse of the courier?
I don't believe they did.
I think it flashed off like for a second on the ward, but
are scanning.
doesn't look like they're finding it. Would have been a big one here. It's the parts of the butterfly for the Shadow Fiend. Only needs that the talisman of evasion. You'll pick that up on the other secret shop by the looks of it.
Bounty Rune. Oh, spam pinging the SF.
Take this bounty. No, just take the last hits. Don't worry.
They want to push this wave as quickly as they can.
Dire's bottom tower
There it is.
Yeah, like if IG is smoked on this side of the map playing around this vision, then pushing super hard here onto this tier 2 gets them a free tower before IG can react.
Oh, I could have potentially gotten a Death Prophet if we just had the vision, but it is nighttime. I don't believe he actually saw the DP there.
Pretty quick Roche respawn. He's alive in a couple of seconds. This is going to be the next big fight, isn't it? Need to push these lanes out as LFY, get them to around here and here, top and mid. But more importantly, they need wards. One observer over on the Shadow Shaman.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah.
DDC needs to go and get that little ward down. Go and get some vision.
Radiant with the scan, trying to intercept them going into the Roche pit, but just a little bit too early. Now they're all smoked out, but Lifesteal infested. They want to pick off first, and they find it. Blink Burst Strike onto the Batrider this time. No BKB, no chance for it with the Ice Blast ults connecting. Yield Scepter silence up on Phantom Lancer, but it does have no BKB. Same for the Shadow Fiend here, right-clicking away, but that's another infest, isn't it? So far, everyone's still very much alive, kicking, and the Exorcism doing its thing. A lot of damage done through that butterfly. Now the silence, extra couple of bursts. Extra bit of burst damage from the Puck, finishing off that big target, and they also get the Shadow Shaman to boot the Stomp. Too late to really change that fact.
Radiant's middle tower.
Everyone survives.
3 big kills. But the one that matters most is Roshan with his little Santa hat. Into the pit they go. Aegis and Cheese for them. And IG looking in a very strong position with the smokes they've been using, but it's just been the vision that they've had. Key observer wards in this game have given them the openings they need for these infest bombs to land. The gem now on the Puck means they can de-ward their opponent's vision, while at the same time Lifestealer's item build has really won this game for them. Halberd, Mjolnir, now a Basher, forced the PL to run away. They had a Yules on the PL, then they just focused him down with Lifestealer, sprinting back and away, while the DP 1v3 chasing the SF all the way through. While Puck and Sand King ran the recon game, and looking at Sand King now, Reconnaissance finds them another kill.
Can't stop, they won't stop. Let's get kill after kill here, keep the momentum going immediately, D-ward.
I was worried
high
that
ground ward for the Radiant side.
IG have no vision hero, but the way that Baboka's playing the Sand King, he's just running forward into the enemy lines is like, cool, I am going to find you with my body, and I'm going to stun you with it as well.
He needs wards if you have eyes, right? Also gonna... Oh, come on, Puck. There we go, he does find the ward now.
One hit kill. And now you've got Hex.
He almost walked past it because he was probably looking somewhere else on the screen.
Scythe of Vice could be the game-winning item. One Hex onto a PL, onto a Shadow Fiend, even onto the Bat Rider. Means that you have your other abilities ready for the continuation of your team fights. You don't have to waste them.
There's no buybacks either on any of the Radiant side heroes. Shadow Fiend, about 1,000 gold away. Bat Rider, not much less. Well, no, yeah, 500 now with these extra couple of blast hits. So, a single kill could be devastating, considering that there's only one tier 2 remaining on the Radiant offlane. Actually, there's another one in mid. Was the Shadow Fiend icon obfuscating that for a second. But there it is, one more time. IG, ready to go again. Every ultimate, check. Aegis and Cheese, check. Lifestealer, ready to go with a bomb, check. And a very quick orb, also check. Plus 40%.
Very patient. Not making a move just yet. Just seeing if they can de-ward anything on their way through. LFY doing a very similar thing, mirroring the movements pretty much of IG. Just hold up together. Group up as 5, don't get picked off one by one anywhere across the map. Both teams likely waiting for their smokes to replenish back in the secret shop. Unfortunately, we can't see that anymore from the spectator side of things. We don't see the cooldown.
Missed the room, though, setting out for the blink across the high ground. Bat Rider immediately taking care of it again. So far, like the last team fight in this area, they also get the Yules on the Old Titan. This time, no counter commitment from LFY.
Let's
cut the losses.
Hex on Puck, immediate blow up one, then Yules on another hero. You just got this continuation from one target to another. LFY, they were grouping up as 5, but for some reason decided to split across. Shadow Fiend's going to go for the split push. Top tier 3 with Serpent Wards arriving soon. Glyph here will keep their tier 3 mid alive, but this could easily be 2 lanes of racks going down if IG want to commit for it. They'll bring down the tier 3, melee being focused, top lane, tier 3 falls with double catapults here. LFY are doing a good job trading, and if they can cancel some TPs on the way out, then maybe, but no. They've got no stuns, Requiem's thrown, Shadow Fiend BKBs. They'll get the melee racks here, it looks like. The Serpent Ward's doing a great job to trade off these racks, but if they get a kill, it's going to be worth it here. IG catch the Shadow Fiend with a good epicenter forward. They'll bring down Super with no buyback available. For how long? Let's find out. 520 gold he's away from it, so they get the racks trade, but they lose out the Shadow Fiend.
Well, considering the situation that they were in, losing 2 heroes like that, still probably the best outcome that LFY could have hoped for, getting that 1-for-1 objectives exchange. But it is in a lane that IG will want to push anyway, because there's still tier 2 up here. So, the question is now what happens next. There's still only a minute left on the Aegis, but of course also continuing to hold on to the Cheese on a Death Prophet. And Lifestealer continues to live inside other heroes.
He's farmed enough already. Yeah. He's got the Abyssal Blade.
Can just farm heroes with that.
Oh yeah, still holding Cheese on DP at the very least. Lincoln Sphere up for her. She shoves in mid. Won't be able to exploit the lack of buyback for Shadow Fiend, who will likely be able to farm it back up. Oh no, maybe not. I've lied. Shadow Fiend has spent all of his money. Desperately scrambling for that Orchid.
Or is that 4 for the Puck, I guess, right? But
yeah, I mean, DP and Lifestealer have... Lifestealer maybe, because DP has BKB, but Lifestealer, if you silence it before Rage, he doesn't really have a way of escape. You know, saving mechanism for the rest of his team. No BKB or Manta or anything himself, obviously.
Yeah. guess the Glimmer Kid from the Ancient Apparition sort of can help out if they realize that this is what's happening.
Gem on Batrider helps that a lot, though. LFY seem pretty lost at this point. The Phantom Lancer, who started off such a great game, now struggling. He was thinking about finishing off a Nullifier there. They could have had Nullifier and Orchid with the Silence and the Mute. Yeah, he switched back to it. Considered the Butterfly for a second, but...
It's probably kind of itemization choice that you have to make now. Something that has an impact, especially because of BKB. I mean, it's still helpful, of course, but you're just delaying any sort of extra damage output. And if your illusions aren't strong enough, like if there's... like if the other team can just shrug them off for a while, which they can because they're super tanky, like they have Eagle Scepters and whatnot. Definitely Mjolnir, more importantly, and Lifestealer to help eat through them. And there's no hearts on the PL, right? It's only the Skadi. It's still a decent amount of health points for the illusions, but it's not that huge thing. They're all next to unkillable.
PL shows off his position by hitting the Shrine, and IG, they want to get in on top of this. The Bat Link Lasso with the BKB, but the Puck surviving through the majority of this with the Abyssal Blade turnaround. The Puck still dies, actually, with the buyback available, might be forced to use it. Their Death Prophet pops her and BKB, the Exorcism is flying, but these PL illusions clearing a nice little zone here with an Earth Splitter forward. A chunk of damage back into the IG masses, but Batrider looks like will be the sacrifice here from LFY. A 1-for-1. With a buyback force from Puck, though, still a potential win overall for LFY.
Oh, Burst Strike connects the Elder Titan, trying to TP out, but interrupted at the last possible moment. Does not have enough mana for another stun unless he uses the one stick charge that he has, but yeah, he should still end up falling here. And meanwhile, mid. Oh, they find the hacks onto the Phantom Lancer. It's a really big one. Follow-up control from Lifestealer, actually. Ice Blast coming through.
Silence.
On top of the Silence, he cannot top the King out. He does have buyback now, though. Now Shadow Fiend taking over, trying to make a trade out of it, but he also cancels the Shackles. Batrider with the lasso, setting up for the Puck once again. That's dieback in return. Sent them also buyback being used on the Phantom Lancer.
Oh,
so
boy.
this game starting to escalate very rapidly, actually.
What's happening? 10 seconds till Roche fast spawn, but PL is alive. The buybacks have been used. Puck dead for 100 seconds. No ultis here for the Dire team. A minute for Exorcism. They've got no Epi for 20. And the Radiant are the ones pushing high ground again.
They have to give up this rack, surely, right?
Yeah, looks like it.
It's not the cheese and DP, so DP can feel rather comfortable just standing there for a while.
Maybe a big Ice Blast here could do the job. They've got the Burrow Strike, but the BKB will make sure the PL stays alive. But no, the Lifestealer bashes him up. They've got to chase. Get the PL, the Requiem wound up, thrown back in. They've got the Shackles, but the Static Charge, the Lightning procs, the PL's dead, and the Epicenter from Maboka will come through, but they killed off the Lifestealer. Dead for 100, but they found the kills that they need. One by one, LFY fall, and IG, they'll spend every buyback they can, chase them down, kill them off, not a single survivor, with a triple kill coming through. They'll get the DP up and running, and now the Dire team, they lost the tier 3 in a situation that looked like they might lose racks, can push forward and potentially end the game.
IG, they can taste victory here. They don't even care about the gem that's still sitting there where the Sand King died. But buyback's committed, they realize, alright, no Phantom Lancer, the big tanky, the big annoying hero is not going to be there in this fight. We're gonna have another Exorcism available, we still have that cheese, with another BKB cooling off. This is our time to just go straight for racks, straight for the throne here. I don't think they'll hold themselves up with the bottom racks, and yeah,
nice
that is
buyback
used on the Shadow Fiend, and well, 18, not a whole lot to work with, but they have to engage into this. They have to try and prevent this push by whatever means necessary. The Glyph will buy them a couple of extra seconds, but 50 still on the clock for the Phantom Lance as well as 40 on the Batrider. seems impossible right now.
They have to do something. They have to go in right now. Hex forward. There's the burst strike, but the full step away gets the Shadow Shaman in a bit of distance. He got the shackles back in. The life steal is dead. DP, where are you? You slept up. The puck has to come back in with a Hex or a Yules or something, but it's on cooldown. The Dream Coil will arrive and snap. The Ice Blast is on the Shadow Fiend. Down he goes. The burst strike into the fountain. Baboka finds the strike he needs. With one more stomp, they'll slow things down, but Throne exposed. 2 supports remaining. 14 seconds for PL, 10 for Bat, and I think IG have to fall away. They can't finish the game. The shackles onto DP. Can they get this kill? The Echo Stomp's coming. The Burst Strike arrives. This Death Prophet's in trouble. He's got a Yule Scepter. Needs to throw it into the Bat Rider as quickly as possible. The BKB's there. The Bat will run forward. The Linkers is popped. The Lasso arrives. LFY, have they turned this game around again? It looks like they might have. DP has buyback, but the Sand King caught deep inside the Radiant base, diving into the trees, but he's gonna fall.
What is this game, Gareth? What is this game? They somehow are able to burst down Lifestealer by enough time for Throne to survive. They didn't get the kill on a Death Prophet. They might very well be able to force out another buyback there. Luckily for them, they still have it. They still have the cheese. Not
Run down mid lane.
Oh. It's a big old yo-yo, isn't it? Straight down mid the one way, then straight down mid the other way. But LFY, they hold on to their lives here in these Genting qualifiers.
It's a big old Monka S, honestly. Some spooky things happening in this match. Bat Rider in Flame has had a pretty good game, and now they've got the Nullifier on the Phantom Lancer. 20 seconds for Lifestealer, 50 for the Sand King. Buyback on the DP and the AA. There we go with the first one. Ancient Apparition, of course, is already alive, but they take down the mid-racks and swing in towards bottom looking for Mega Creeps. Silence in onto the PL. Serpent Wards are pummeling this tower as they blink forward. Glimmer is there, though. Ancient Apparition kept alive with the help of the Yule Scepter, and DP moving forward with this BKB. They're trying to focus down the back lines. ET snapped with the coil. The Shadow Shaman will fall immediately after. They've saved their bottom lane of racks, and now they're looking. The Piggy, is that a PL? It is indeed. Hexed up. Silence now as well. Doesn't have a BKB, but pops the Manta and the Doppelganger to get down to the southwest. LFY will retreat and keep their cause alive as they buy back their 2 supports, but the Rax is falling and Mega Creeps have arrived.
Couple of buybacks. Every buyback is on cooldown right now. Every single one. It's not even about the goal, it's about the timers. So every hero just with 1 life remaining, but the ultimate status is working in favor of LFY by the looks of it. And of course, the Mega Creeps, a huge boon to their push, and all of a sudden it was IG who almost got enough power, enough damage towards that Radiant Ancient, but now theirs is exposed with only 1 single tier 4 tower to guard it.
And a huge Roshan, the 3rd one of the game. Aegis Cheese Refresher Shard this time in the hands of LFY might just be able to close this one out. IG came so close to just ending the game, but Puck with no defensive items, no Lincolns, no BKB, and no saving items on the supports. And the AA was trying to build a Lotus Orb, but is quite distant from it. It's been a tough game for the Puck, very good aggressively, but when falling behind, very, very easy to fall flat on its face. That's Death Prophet aiming for the Refresher Shard.
That Aghanims, if they don't realize that he has it, this could be the kind of thing to turn the game around. You snap the coil because you want to get out of it, maybe your BKBs. Even with the BKB, of course, you still get stunned up. This game is still far from over, despite Mega Creeps, despite that Aegis Cheese Refresher Shard on the side of LFY. 1 misstep can still cost them
I can't believe this game is still going. Bloodthorn nearly done for SF. Farming creep camps on their way to the Dire base. They've got lanes pushed in thanks to Mega Creeps. 1 tier 4 separates the Radiant from the naked Dire throne. And it is a struggle now for IG to defend the remaining buildings. As LFY do have 1 Observe Ward up on the high ground. Triple obs defending this Dire base to give that vision they so desperately need.
Also need more money for buybacks. Puck's cooldown has expired, but he's still missing a lot of gold. That axe purchase, and that is Blink. No, Laster coming through though with the instant invis. Now the Ice Blast coming through the back, but BKB on Phantom Lance only being grazed by the epicenter in the back, but hacks up. Death Prophet, that's a big kill if they can get it.
The refresher though. DP gets it off. Second BKB has the Shivers got to go, has another ulti if you want to as well, and with Batrider dead, they've held back this Radiant team. Sure, Aegis is still there along with the cheese, and now the Radiant can go in again, can't they? They've used all these BKBs. LFY can jump straight forward onto the DP potentially.
BKB, there's the second Nexus once the first one expires. So damage output is available, immediate buyback as soon as it's available for the Batrider. Boots of travel straight back towards the top lane. Now the lasso available in 15, and the coil this time it is on cooldown for about 25 seconds. And no Sankey more importantly, but this is it. The Phantom Lance, we can get this here, but the cheese eaten, forced off the way from his teammates. They are re-engaging, waiting out, waiting for an opportunity. Blink hacks forward, poking and prodding, but not overcommitting here, just waiting out the exorcism. Half time left on it now. They find the target. Lifestealer lassoed up. Right click, Shackles coming through from the Shadow Shaman. He's down for the count. Same for the Death Prophet now. Next on the list, Yules will delay the inevitable here. But ultimately, it is LFY who force out the GG, tie up the series. They were on death's door, Gareth, but they managed to fight their way back into it.
I'm still not sure what happened there. Diebacks and nonsense in the last 3 or 4 minutes of that game. What does the graph tell us? Absolutely fuck all. Crazy set of circumstances, but we knew that the Radiant team would outscale Adire eventually, but it came down to that one push. They chose to go tier 4s and Throne. The hold from SF, ET, Shadow Shaman, buying time for the PL and Batrider to respawn. And boy, oh boy, did they hold their base. If IG went for Mega Creeps, maybe they would have been able to keep the pressure on, but it was that tight window, and they chose the direction that would lead to their downfall in the end. So we're going to a game number 3 in our first best of 3 of the day. One game separates one of these teams from that qualifying spot to ESL 1 Genting. Great start to the day. We'll see you guys in a little bit after this short break.